Welcome to the ReAD Help Video 2.6, additional information for considering effectiveness in the context of an unchanged budget. When using the ReAD module, examining when you have an unchanged budget, you'll be asked which of the options, either the existing or the proposed, creates more benefit in ideal circumstances. This is a comparative, head-to-head question. You'll also be asked later on about which option creates more benefit in real-life circumstances, but for now, we'll focus on the ideal circumstances, which is really based on the research literature. You not only need to know whether your existing or proposed options are effective, but also which one is more beneficial overall. This is a key difference between this module of the ReAD and the other modules focusing on whether there is an increased budget or a reduced budget overall. To answer this question, ideally there would be research available that has conducted a head-to-head comparison. This can happen when the options being considered address the same problem. For example, one of my earlier papers looked at providing information to older hospital patients about preventing falls, either through a written booklet or through watching a DVD. This was a head-to-head comparison of two different ways that we could invest in trying to provide information for falls prevention. However, such a convenient comparison is not always the case. Often there are studies comparing one option to a control condition and a separate study comparing the other option to a control condition. Meta-analysis can be used to compare the results from these separate studies. However, the control conditions are not always the same, so some caution is required. If the options address different problems, then it is unlikely that there will be any head-to-head comparisons. It is likely that the separate studies comparing each option to a control will use different outcome measures. For example, a study of using Bow-Bath rehabilitation approaches to improve knee control in people following stroke compared to a study of speech-language therapy for treatment of stuttering. What you can do in these situations, if these are the sort of options that you're trying to compare, is find a common end outcome. So for example, Bow-Bath therapy was designed to improve knee control, whereas speech-language therapy was designed to reduce stuttering. Both of these have further flow-on effects. The Bow-Bath therapy to improve mobility, the speech-language therapy to improve communication. These flow-on effects might eventually converge together under the heading of improved functional independence. And following on from that, improved health-related quality of life. Now, it's possible that the improved mobility and the improved communication might also affect other outcomes, such as improved self-esteem or mental health outcomes. It is for this reason that I personally prefer to focus on end outcomes like health-related quality of life, because they take into account all these other potential sources of benefit.